Good afternoon and welcome to SUTV Live. We're live inside our Bramall Lane studio in the build-up to today's match, with the Blades back in action after the international break, having won their previous two, and it's a trip to Carrow Road to face 7th place Norwich in the push for promotion. In today's show, we'll be reviewing United's latest league and cup wins, taking a look at the under-21s as well, reminding ourselves how we fared in the reverse fixture against Norwich, discussing today's opponents, and we've got previews from Paul Heckingbottom and Max Lowe. Kick-off is just under an hour away, and for all the match pass information and broadcasting regulations for today's game, go to the website sufc.co.uk. Well, a very good afternoon and thank you for joining us. Just 9 games separate Blades potentially, hopefully, from promotion. The mood, of course, is good here in the studio, and I'm joined this afternoon by two former Blades favourites, legends, if you like, with Brian Dean. Good to see you, Brian. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, thank you.
You sure?
Apart from this cold, but yeah.
You keep your distance. And Kevin Gage, good to see you as well, Kevin.
Yeah, hi John. Nice
It
to see you.
seems like a while since United have been in league action, doesn't it? You know, I mean, it's kind of getting back up to speed again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've had all the cup shenanigans, haven't we, and all the excitement and the fantastic exploits of our team in the cup, and we've got more to come, of course. And then coupled with the international break, you know, although it's not an international break for lots of our players who've obviously been away, you know, playing for their national sides, but it's a good chance for other players to kind of reset and just take a bit of a breather, maybe get rid of a few niggling injuries, and hopefully everybody in the squad will be ready and firing for the next, as you say, vitally important 9 games.
Yeah, I mean, it really is getting to sort of nail-biting time, and there's that 3-point gap over Middlesbrough, but with the game in hand, because of the cup exploits, wouldn't it be good if they could pick up 3 points today?
Absolutely. I mean, you need that gap now because, you know, Luton aren't that far behind as well, and everybody's talking about Middlesbrough, but, you know, Luton are quietly going on about their business. It's going to be tight, you know, and it's great having a cup run, love a cup run. I just hope that, you know, we don't forget that the priority is to get promoted.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be talking more about the cup run and the cup match a little bit later on. But, you know, I mean, there's 2 ways of looking at it, aren't you? It's having that run, people will say, oh, yeah, it's something to give you confidence, but potentially it gets in the way as well.
Yeah, you can make that argument, but I think having such good performances in the cup against good quality sides,
and they were terrific,
game,
weren't they, against
yeah,
Blackburn?
It's allowed players like Doyle and McAtee to come to the fore, you know, and I think it's give them two especially a huge amount of confidence, and obviously the manager's got confidence in them, you know, that he's played them in the side, they've kept their place, so I think it just spurs everybody else on.
Nothing between them when we played at the Lane. It was a 2-2 draw against Norwich, who of course have still very much got promotion aspirations of their own.
Yeah, definitely. New manager's gone in there, David Wagner. When they came down here, I thought they were fantastic in the first half. I was very impressed with how they attacked. I thought they had a good game plan, played some good football, but then what disappointed me about them was the play acting, and I think once they started doing that, I felt that it played into our hands and we were able to get some energy off the back of, you know, some of the shenanigans that the players were performing on the pitch. I think they had, I've forgotten his name, the Greek player that they had, but he seemed to be the catalyst for me. I think he went down from a nothing challenge. And I think from that, we just seemed to get energy and momentum, and we ended up coming back.
Well, we'll be looking at it in more detail with various people, including Sander Berg, who spoke to us when he arrived at the ground. Hear from him in a moment or two. But before that, let's just take a look at the team news. We're only, well, less than an hour away, and this is how Sheffield United will be lining up. And one change from the last league match, Ollie McBurney back in for Jefferson, Kevin.
Yeah, you'd probably expect that, wouldn't you? I mean, Jefferson did a decent job, but McBurney's our main number 9. He's our focal point up front, and that's the change you would have expected the manager to make. But as I mentioned earlier, I mean, it's a huge confidence boost for Tommy Doyle and McAtee to retain their place after the way they've been playing in the last few games, especially in the cup games. I mean, people like Ollie Norwood, I mean, he must be wondering what he's done wrong, because he's had a fantastic season, Ollie Norwood, and can't get in the team at the moment. I mean, I was championing him no more than 6-8 weeks ago for a potential player of the season, and he's still top of all, a lot of stats like passing and interceptions and tackles, but he can't get in.
And that's the way we're expecting them to line up, Brian.
Yeah, most definitely. I think with what Kevin said, I understand what he's saying, but I think this is a time of year where you need energy, and you need players like, McAtee and Doyle coming in, and perhaps you've got people like Norwood on the bench who can make an impact later on. I just feel that we need to start dictating the tempo, and I feel that if we've got players like those two, I think that it gives us that impetus to go forward and try and take control of the game early on. And then we've got people who are better at in-game management, who know how and have been there before. So you've got them to come on. I think it's perhaps the right decision in my view.
I had people speaking to me who had obviously not seen Sheffield United much, and maybe don't watch that much of Championship football. After that cup match, people were raving about the standard of the game and the excitement involved with it, and particularly the performances of McAtee and Doyle. People were saying, who are these two guys? They're terrific.
Yeah, well, let's be fair, they're Man City players, aren't they? So they're damn good players, aren't they? Unfortunately, they can't play in the cup against Man City, but they've got that natural ability and quality, obviously, to be Man City professionals. McAtee is the one who's really come on strong, hasn't he? Because we just talked about Luton. He came his first starts for us was against Luton at Luton, and he looked like a little boy lost out there in the first half, and he got dragged at half time. So it's been a huge learning curve for him, and he's just got better and better and better. I totally agree with what you said, Dino, by the way. Bringing Norwood on, maybe after 60, 65, 70 minutes, just to calm the game down a bit. Hopefully we'll be in a winning position. And our bench is going to be hugely important. All of our substitutes are going to be hugely important, to come on at the right time, either to make an impact and try and get something back, or just to calm the game down a bit.
Well, I'm sure that the whole squad, the whole team is going to be absolutely buzzing after the FA Cup successes, including Sander Berg, who played really well against Blackburn in that quarter-final match. He's been away on international duty, Norway drawing 1-1 against Georgia during the week. And when he arrived at the ground, we first of all asked him for his thoughts about playing for his national team.
Sander, first of all, international duty, how did that go?
Not the greatest result-wise, but I think we showed quality in both games. I mean, until after 1-0 to Spain, I think we showed courage, and we did really well and created a lot of chances and could have gone up to 1-1 many times, but unfortunately we didn't, and then they punished us in the end. And obviously Georgia was a disappointment with a draw, but all in all we delivered a game we should have won. With all the chances we created, we dominated the game, but that's international football is brutal, and but yeah, we have to go into the next camp when that comes and win the games.
I suppose concentration's now on Sheffield United and everything that goes with it. How have you fitted back in this week?
Oh, it's been great to be back. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously we left to get everyone at a good point. Obviously going to Wembley and winning against Sunderland away there, so that was a good turnout for us. But now, back full focus on the league, and then every game will be a tough one. But we have 9 finals to go.
Starting with this one against Norwich and your 100th appearance for Sheffield United. Nice milestone for you.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and obviously very proud to play 100 games for this club, and go out there today and hopefully make it a win. It will be even better. But keep them coming, and hopefully just adding more games.
Top man. Thank you, Paul.
Perfect, thank you.
Sander Berger with his 100th appearance for the Blades this afternoon. What's your opinion of Sander's season? Because, the cynics say, on his day he can look absolutely wonderful, but he still blows a bit hot and cold.
My view is a simple one. When I first saw him, I thought this guy has got the opportunity to go right to the top. And if you look at his stature, his size and everything, he's got everything you need as a player, as a central midfield player. You know, you can put him with the same potential abilities as the likes of Yaya Toure, and that you've got to want to grasp a game though, and I feel that that's where Sander's been lacking at times. He's got the ability to be the best player on the pitch for every game, and I just feel that he doesn't grasp the game quickly enough. That's what the top 4 teams will be thinking. You know, they'll be looking at him as a player and they'll be thinking, well, can he come in, can he influence, is he a captain out there? You know, because there's been times where the game's passed him by, and I think he's better than that.
Let's hope this is going to be one of the afternoons when he really does shine. It does seem such a long time ago that United were in league action. It was actually Wednesday the 15th of March. We've already been talking about it, that trip to the northeast, and a pretty good performance against Sunderland.
And Sunderland in their traditional red and white. Matthew Donoghue's the referee. Gets this one underway. Decent ball in, a chance, and running it low. Nice little back heel. And Foderingham called into action to deny Hume. McAtee. Jefferson, good first touch. Jefferson, fine save. Berger popping up here. Neil. Barr. Lots of room here. Chance for Sunderland. Mishu. Against the run of play. Sunderland have taken the lead. It's a fine finish. Bulldog for the Blades on the front foot. McAtee takes it in his stride. James McAtee, brilliant! Yes. 5th goal this season for James McAtee. His first touch allowed him to drive into the area, and then a tidy finish, and United are back on level terms. Sunderland get the second 45 underway. Towards Jefferson, might come out for McAtee. United's turn to attack. Given away though by Njai, but he's won it back, and McAtee has it now. Njai's continued his run, still with McAtee. Iliman Njai for Sheffield United, saved by the feet of Patterson. Excellent feet once again from the Senegalese international. He draws the foul. And from Doyle, just needs a touch, sure did it. I think he's gone all the way through. From Tommy Doyle, he's the one who's getting the congratulations. 3rd goal of the season for the Man City loanee, and Sheffield United have come from behind to lead by 2-1. Cowart goes wide. Roberts strikes the outside of the post. The referee puts the whistle to his mouth, and there is a full-time whistle.
Well, after the game, Tommy Doyle told us just how much he'd enjoyed that match.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Really enjoyable game. I think we started off very well. I mean, we could have scored a few more. Obviously a little bit disappointed with the goal we conceded, but then obviously the fight that we had to get ourselves back into the game was very good.
How much did you and the rest of the lads feel as though you needed that type of big performance, and obviously the result that followed?
Yeah, we want to win every game. Obviously we know that there's obviously been a little bit more talk about the game today. Obviously we know we need to win, and yeah, we did that. We fought, we battled, we left everything out there, and you know it was a great performance. So I'm buzzing that we got the 3 points.
How do you avoid the white noise? When you don't win, you're not getting in the playoffs. When you do win, you're obviously going to win the league.
Yeah, listen, we just take it game by game. Of course, you know, everybody is gonna speak about whether we win or whether we lose. You know, we've just got to keep focused on ourselves, keep trying to perform for ourselves, the club, the fans, and you know, I think we did that tonight. So hopefully now we can continue that for the next games.
So things going well in the league, and of course after that attention's very quickly turned to the FA Cup quarter-final and that match against Blackburn.
Sheffield United are 90 minutes plus potential extra time and penalties away from an FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. Way down the left-hand side here, Morton to the byline, pulls it back, and it's going to be turned towards goal by Gallagher. Nobody even thought about a penalty off this. Referee marches onto the field of play, blows his whistle. Penalty is given. Front of the cop end, the Blades fans are doing their best. Brereton, Diaz strikes. Fodringham guesses right down to his left-hand side. Whips it again with pace, coming in his eager, and it's out to the edge of the box for Lowe, who strikes it, deflected and in! Max Lowe! All of 30 plus yards from goal, and the Blades are back level. It's Sheffield United 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. United have lost out in the middle with Doyle. It's played through the middle for Schmodix, who's onside, and Schmodix will turn the ball in. United lost out in the middle of the park. Schmodix will get the goal. He scored at Leicester in the last round. Lowe comes in off the left-hand side. McAtee is there. Lowe gets it in. McBurney with the turn in the area. McBurney can't get it away. He can! But that is a monstrous goal by Ollie McBurney. He puts it in the back of the net. Goal 13 of the season. And Sheffield United have levelled once again. Who's going to make Wembley? Who's going to make the semi? We still don't know. 9 to go. Blades 2, Blackburn 2. McAtee to the byline. Cuts back, thinks about the cross. He's going to work it back to Sander Berger. Berger will look to cross him. We haven't seen the board for the additional minutes. Back to Doyle out of his feet! World class! Absolutely world class strike from Tommy Doyle. 30 yards out. They've come from behind twice, and Tommy Doyle has lit up Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 3, Blackburn Rovers 2.
I don't know about you, but I will just never get fed up of seeing that Tommy Doyle goal. It was one of the great moments and a stunning goal. And after the match, Wes Fodringham reflected on the occasion.
Yeah, brilliant. It's a brilliant day for the fans, for the boys. I'm not sure how many of the boys have been to Wembley, so yeah, great occasion.
What was it like to play in? Because to watch it was an incredible game of football, end-to-end stuff.
Yeah, I mean, imagine for the neutral, it was a great game. I think we showed great character going behind twice and coming back and getting the victory in the end. So yeah, credit to the boys.
And I suppose character's the key word, really. You showed it in the week, going behind it at Sunderland and coming back, and then to do it twice today must make it a little bit extra special.
Yeah, listen, that's football. You're not always going to have it your way. There's going to be times we need to grind and show strength and character to get out those moments, and I think we've done that today.
And clearly, you yourself had a couple of big moments. I think the double save in the second half will probably be one you'd look back on today, particularly the second part of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them. Sometimes I'm called into action to make big saves, and that's my job, and thankfully I could do that today. The first save is probably one of those ones where you're thinking you should catch, but I can see two Blackburn players in front of me, and anyone could take a touch, and it's difficult in those moments. But yeah, I think that gave me a little bit more adrenaline to get up and make the second save.
It just shows you, though, everybody in these kind of games, everyone's going to be needed, aren't they, at some point? Everyone had to come up with big moments today.
Yeah, that's football. Football's about big moments, and you want your big players to step up and provide those big moments in the game when needed, and I thought we'd done that today.
Talking of big moments, I mean, Ollie McBurney and Tommy Doyle have come up with two brilliant moments. I mean, they're special moments, aren't they, for those players?
Yeah, definitely. Things they'll take with them for the rest of their careers, and just on Old's finish, it's great. Great bit of skill to fashion a chance for himself and stick it across the goalie, and it's a top finish. And Tommy Doyle does what Tommy Doyle does. He's got fantastic shooting ability from that distance, and I think 10 minutes before that, I was telling him half a yard, get a shot off. He was tremendous from that distance, and yeah, top goal.
Well, that was Wes Fodringham, and that afternoon, Kevin, it was one of those real feel-good occasions, wasn't it? The crowd loved it, the players loved it, and I don't know about you, I was absolutely buzzing watching it.
It was fantastic. It was a brilliant experience. Just the cup tie, the game that had absolutely everything. We went behind, we got back. There was a bit of controversy. The goals were good. A fantastic save from Wes. We had VAR, for God's sake. We're not used to that, are we? We were all waiting around to see what the hell was going on with the penalty. Nobody knew what it was all about. So yeah, it was just wonderful to come out on top, and thoroughly deserved, by the way, because we were the better side overall.
Yeah, and because it was on terrestrial television, I suspect it's going to be one of those, Brian. There were actually 25,000 odd in the stadium, weren't there? I think 10 years ago, people will be talking about it. They'll kind of reinvent history, and it'll seem that the crowd was about 100,000.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic occasion for the club. I mean, It's funny, isn't it? You know, every now and again we do get these days down here, don't we? You know, and it's a brilliant reward for the fans. Such a good game as well.
It's why we come, isn't it? I mean, you live for those fantastic occasions, and that was one of them.
And there wouldn't be too many neutrals watching it, was there? But you can see people at home tuning into that, as you say, on terrestrial TV, looking at the ground, looking at the atmosphere and everything that went on. I mean, just a great advert, not just for football, for Sheffield United as well.
And the FA Cup, by the way.
And the FA Cup, yeah.
I wouldn't like to tell you what my language was like when that penalty got awarded. It wasn't good. People in my local were saying, "What's the matter with you? What's the matter? It's the rules."
And it's good for the tournament itself. Yes, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, all the top six are usually involved. It's good that, you know, a championship club like us is up there.
But what a tough prospect going now to Wembley to face Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? I'm quite happy that it's Man City, because there's zero pressure on the team. I think if we'd have drawn Brighton, then I think people would have been thinking, well, is it a 50-50? I think we've got to be realistic here and say, what are we going to take out of this occasion? It's a total no-lose situation. The players can approach it without feeling that extra responsibility. Just go out there, enjoy it, and you know, if we lose, so what?
And just before we talk a little bit briefly about the Sunderland win, which was really important, what a goal from Doyle. I mean, goodness me, what a strike.
Yeah, we've seen his techniques all season. He's been taking all the free kicks, hasn't he? He's been nudging Ollie Norwood out the way, and he wants those free kicks from 25 yards. So we know he's got the technique, and he obviously fancied himself there. Caught it beautifully, absolutely beautifully. There's that great shot from behind the goal. From in front of the goal, where you get behind the player, and you can just see the bend he put on it to take it into the top corner. You know, wonderful strike.
Absolute screamer, wasn't it? Sunderland match, that was, that was a great 3 points, really, particularly when you think that they went and got a draw against Burnley last night, that goalless draw. You know, and that's a good result, beating Sunderland, lads.
Yeah, because Sunderland are a decent side. You know, they were still in the play, not really edging the playoffs, but they still had playoff hopes at that stage. I think we kind of doused that on them. And again, we thoroughly deserved that victory. The first half performance was magnificent against Sunderland. They hardly got out their half. And it was a travesty that they scored right at the end of that first half with basically a breakaway goal. So we thoroughly deserved to win that.
And came on the back of the Spurs' success. So maybe that I said earlier on, didn't I, about how good's the FA Cup? Perhaps beating Spurs actually gave them that real sort of boost of confidence.
Bit of belief, yeah, definitely. It's I mean, don't get me wrong. Sunderland's not an easy place to go and play. They've got 49,000 there, and well supported club. So to go up there, but I mean, you can flip it on your head, innit? Again, it's one of those where you go there, you see a beautiful stadium full, with their fans in, and it's as a player, I used to enjoy going to places like that and thinking this is a great opportunity to show what you can do, and it's great to see that the squad is growing, and they took advantage of a situation there and came away with the 3 points, because it sends a good message out to everybody else around there. We're still here. We're not going anywhere.
Well, it's probably a good time to just take a quick look at the Championship table as we go into this match. Burnley's 0-0 draw puts them on 84 points, actually. They need a point a game from there to secure promotion. They're pretty much up, aren't they, Burnley? I mean, it's the battle behind them.
Yeah, we've given Burnley up, haven't we? We can safely say that they're going up because they're a damn good side as well. But it's interesting, the chase behind. Obviously, Luton, I think, are winning as we speak. Not quite sure what the score is right now. But they're making a really sustained run. And they, I have to say, when they came to us the other week and beat us down here, we didn't play very well, but they were so strong.
Physically strong.
Yeah, physically strong and imposing. We couldn't get going. Whether they can keep maintaining that, we'll see. But I expect them to be there, right up there at the end.
Well, United's recent form going into this afternoon, our last 5 matches, 3 wins in there, and it really was a very important win at Sunderland, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think when you look at how Luton are performing now, Middlesbrough aren't going anywhere. It's important to keep getting those wins, just keeping that little bit of a buffer between ourselves and the teams in third and fourth place, because if you show them any opportunity, you give them any opportunity to think that they can overhaul us, they're going to be going for it. So, today's going to be another game like that. We have to keep sending out that message, and I'm sure that in the changing rooms, Paul Heckingbottom, Paul is...
Paul, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at Paul. Hecky, yeah. I'm sure they've all taken that into consideration, and, those will be the messages, that we've got to come here, got to do a very professional job. We've got to get on top of we've got to try and dominate from the start. I think that's got to be where we are with this Norwich side. All the teams, as they approach really very much the business end of the season, have got to have belief.
Yeah, of course they. I mean, we're looking at it from a Sheffield United point of view. Norwich will be looking at it thinking, we're going to have to really pull out the stops today. They're not very good at home, Norwich. Actually, they've actually won more points away from home than they've got at home this season, which is a strange stat. So they're not brilliant. So they'll be looking to put things right. They've had 1 or 2 reverses at home recently. So
it's a big team, though, isn't it? So it's a bit of a neutralising one for the crowd, isn't it?
And Norwich have had a disappointing season after coming down, getting relegated last year from the Prem. They would be expected to be right up there challenging with the likes of Burnley and ourselves, of course. And they haven't really hit those heights. Changed the manager. They've had a bit of turmoil, internally. So yeah, they need to come out firing. I agree with Brian. It would be great if we could dominate the game, but I think Norwich will come out absolutely firing today, and it may be a question of just making sure our defence is as strong as it usually is, and we don't give anything away and just stay in the game and hopefully come onto the game in the later stages.
Well, we'll look at Norwich in a bit more detail in a minute or two, but let's just look ahead at some of the matches coming up. Starting off with Wigan at home on the 7th of April, a 3 o'clock kickoff. We're on air from 2 o'clock. Then it's Burnley. Big one on Easter Monday, the 10th of April, 8 o'clock kickoff, and we're on air there from 7. And Cardiff City at home on the 15th of April. That looks like one where we really do need to be getting 3 points from that one. A 12:30 kickoff, that's an early kickoff, and we're on air from 12 o'clock. Well, season tickets went on sale online only on Wednesday, the 22nd of March 2023. Let's hear more about that.
United is an escape.
Sheffield United is in my blood and in my heart.
United is the red and white wizards.
When we score, everybody charge forward, and just that feeling of this is what football's all about.
You're absolutely born a blade.
For me, United is family, friends, and a place to come and enjoy and be safe.
I feel annoyed and frustrated if anybody says anything about it. I don't want anyone to criticise the home of my football club.
It means everything to people.
It means a lot to me because I was born to be a Blade.
Bramall Lane is home.
Sheffield United to me is my football family.
It just kind of runs like a thread through your life, and it's just part of you.
It's called a family club for a reason, and it is just one big massive home. So this is kind of second home for everyone.
You come to Bramall Lane, it's a club where you found yourself there, like you found a place where you belong. And
it's just family, one big family. It just feels like home.
This is me, this is what I'm about, this is what it means.
Well, we call it church, which is a bit blasphemous, I know, but it is like going to church.
Be a part of the furniture, I love it. Really have to get a season ticket for next season when hopefully, you just all hope, we're going to be up there in the big league in the top division. Well, United's under-21s were in action against Burnley on the 21st of March. And here's how the action there unfolded.
Neil Pratt is your referee as Burnley get us underway in their black jerseys with pink trim. Sheffield United, of course, in the usual red and white striped shirts. Here is Peck, and it's through the wall, and it's a really smart save there by Franchi. Sula. Marsh now skipping away from a couple of challengers. Keeps the ball in, there's a Sula, that's a brilliant goal for Sheffield United. Fine build-up play once again for the Blades. It was Marsh doing the damage down the right this time. Took out a couple of Burnley defenders, and he's put it on a plate for Will Asula. Couldn't miss from 6 yards. Look at the space here for Sashdev. In on goal, Sai Sashdev. Fine stop, it comes out for another chance. Sheffield United get the second half underway. And the Blades lead, thanks to that Will Asula header from a well-worked move. Peck's delivery. Decent ball in, and a fine header. And Sheffield United deserve that goal. The Blades lead by 2-0. Dewhurst's clearance, and Asula might get onto this. He does, and that's a fine finish from Will Asula. The assist from the goalkeeper, Dewhurst. Asula was onto it, quick as a flash, burst into the area, bags his second goal of the afternoon, and Sheffield United now lead Burnley by 3-0. Payabu, Marsh with a header. More goals for United. Fine header from Louis Marsh, stooping at the near post. He's in on the act as well. There is the full-time whistle, and Sheffield United 7 straight Professional Development League wins on the spin.
Good performance, that one, and a couple of goals from Will Asula, who's on the bench, perhaps as a result of that. He's on the bench this afternoon, hoping to be a part of the action, and after that match, we caught up with him to get his thoughts.
Well, Will, 2 goals, great display from the team against a very strong Burnley lineup. Just sum that one up.
Yeah, good win, good play overall. We had a good first half and an even better second half, so yeah, good win.
For you as well, coming back, you had that little injury when you came back, the jaw injury, but you've been back a few games now, a couple of goals today. How are you feeling personally?
Yeah, I feel good, I feel fit, I feel sharp. I'm back now from broken jaw and concussion, so I'm just ready to go kick on now, so yeah.
It was a strong Burnley team today, but you went out there, you were incisive play first half, the whole team seemed to be really at it today. Did that spur you on a little bit, seeing their team sheet?
Yeah, no, not really. I was just happy that our team was on it today, like proper on it. Like, you know, as a striker, you score goals and it's not clean sheets. You know, it's like your hard work's not really paying off. But I was so happy with the defence. They're keeping the clean sheet, which makes obviously the day even better, and it looks better as well, 4-0.
And when you've got those players around you, Marshy, Blaster, City today, setting you up, you had a couple of chances, but I mean, the entire attack, I mean, it could have been more than 4 today.
Yeah, it could have been more than 4, but yeah, overall good win, so yeah.
How are you feeling as well? Your own development, you're out on loan the first half of the season, you've come back now, you're scoring goals in the under-21s. In terms of your own personal development this season, where do you feel you're at?
At the moment, I just feel like I just got to keep scoring goals, keep showing what I can do on the pitch, and then, you know, time will tell.
Is it more enjoyable doing it here as well, Bramall Lane?
Of course, this is my club, this is the club I'm at, so of course it is.
Will Asula's had a little bit of first team action, and on the score sheet there with 2 for the under-21s, he looks lively, doesn't he, Kevin?
Yeah, he looks a good player, doesn't he? He was very good at Derby, who didn't want to come back from Derby, but we had to bring him back. He's 6'1". He's all action, he's strong, he's powerful. He's got a goal in him. In fact, he's a bit like a young Brian Dean, I'd go so far to say.
Well, you took the words out of the mouth. I think, Brian,
exactly.
How highly do you rate him, potentially?
Well, this is the first I've seen of him, but definitely, you know, he's in the right places. You know, it looks like, you know, I always like forwards who like to play on the shoulder, you know, and the way I was taking his second goal there, you know, it shows me that he's got that potential. You know, you can build if you've got that ability and you can build on it. That's what, you know, his height, his physicality as well. He's got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, and he's still a baby, really, isn't he? I mean, he's going to be a unit by the time he's finished, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's good. I hope that somebody's guiding him properly. You know, he's you know, I hope that the right people are getting in his ear, you know, and he's, you know, he's focusing himself, because, you know, we've seen it before where you've got great players at that age. They just need sometimes the right type of mentor to really see it through and make sure that they're telling them the right things at the right times. They're not getting carried away with anything. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think looking at that on raw ability, he looks like he's got a chance.
Yeah.
Right, let's take a look at the reverse fixture when Norwich came up here early in the season. Teemu Pukki scored twice in the opening 20 minutes for Norwich, but then second half goals from Ben Osborne and Ollie McBurney earned the Blades a share of the spoils.
We're underway here at Bramall Lane. Very mild October afternoon. Davis has made a mistake. Disaster for Adam Davis. Teemu Pukki blocking the goalkeeper's clearance. It's his 5th of the season. Forward by Aarons. Pukki again causing issues for United. He's got to this and he's got the shot away and he's beaten Davis. And Pukki gets his 2nd of the afternoon. Norwich have doubled their advantage. And United face a real test of character now. Osborne gets past his man. What about the cross? Not a bad one. Brewster rising. Osborne's cross flicked on by Brewster. Norwood's cushion header. Sharp's onside. Norwood the strike and a fine save. Norwood's delivery. Egan's header. Norwich clear. Still we play on. Osborne takes a deflection. Had to make the save, Angus Gunn. There isn't time for the corner kick. Ken Sharp goes to ground. Again, no free kick. Baldock's picked it up here for United. Baldock's cross. Illiman and Jai. Blocked again, and Jai with a follow-up sticks it over the bar. He might roll for Sharp. Sharp, can he get the shot away? Deflection, chance for Osborne. Yes! United back in the contest. Ben Osborne, the goal scorer. Sharp played his part in the build-up. Exactly what they've done, and then it goes in from Norwood. Great header across goal. McBurney forces it in. United on level terms. Ollie McBurney, his 6th of the campaign, in front of the Kop. Campbell. Hernandez goes down. He was outside the area. Players at the referee, and then Gibbs goes down. The referee has a strong look, and he's given the penalty. With 3 minutes remaining, Pukki saved by Davis. He has redeemed himself.
That wasn't the best penalty of all time, was it, that one? But what an important save, and what a good game, you know. I mean, we could have another cracker, couldn't we, this afternoon? Yeah,
as I said earlier, I think Norwich will be flying, and we're going to have to cope with that, and I'm sure we're good enough to do that, and I think it'll be a decent game of football.
Let's recap the team news, starting with Sheffield United. One change from the match against Sunderland, and it's Ollie McBurney, who was in the goal-scoring action when they played here at the Lane, and he's back into the starting lineup.
Yeah, for me, probably the strongest pairing we've got up front. And like we mentioned before, you know, some good energy in midfield. I hope this is a game for me where I'm looking at Sanderberg and I'm saying, okay, you know, you've got to be the one now to, you know, we've got the 2 boys in midfield. You've got to be the one who takes a hold of that situation and be the boss man. You know, good shape at the back. You know, 3 good centre backs and plenty of energy at the wide. So, very good team for me. I think I'm quite confident, to be honest, Kevin.
Listen, I'm always confident for Sheffield United play because I think we've got very, very good players, and we've got a good system that everybody knows intimately. They know exactly what they're doing. They know their jobs, so no worries there. Interesting that he's given Baldock the nod over Bogle, because Bogle's back and fully fit now. Yeah. But we've gone with, as Brian says, the energy and the athleticism of Baldock maybe over Bogle, because Bogle's more in an attacking, you know, threat really, and Baldock's just generally a good all-round defender, and will just do that job all day long on the right-hand side. And Sanderberg, what you're saying about Sanders is interesting, because he's not just storming forward on the right-hand side. He is trying to give Doyle a little bit more help there. Usually it's Norwood just sat there and everybody else flies off him, Sanderberg or McAtee, whoever it is. But Sanders just trying to give Doyle a little bit more help, playing a little bit deeper recently.
I'm always just so excited to see Iliman Ndiaye playing. He's having a terrific season, and he just makes things happen, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a good player. He came on against Spurs, scored the goal. Just got that little bit of an X factor, hasn't he? And he's, when he's in the side, everybody's more confident. I felt that he had a little bit of a blip a couple of months ago. It's good to see him back. Good to see that he scored on international duty as well.
Yeah, he's a special talent, isn't he? I mean, he's going to be a Premier League player very, very soon. If it's
hopefully
not with us,
obviously,
yeah, hopefully with us. If it's not with us, you can see him playing there in a year or two, and he's going to be a good Premier League player as well. Because he's got so much ability. You can't do anything about that dribbling ability.
Who would you say is a better player out of him and Morgan Gibbs-White?
I think Iliman's a better player.
Do you think he's developed into a better player, or because I think last year Gibbs-White was, doing what he's doing, but
I said at the start of this season, I think it would be a big season for Ndiaye, because he's seen what Gibbs-White achieved last season, and he's looked at him in training, and he's been playing alongside him in games, and he's probably looked at him thinking, do you know what, I'm as good as you, if not better. I've got better dribbling ability. I'm as quick as you, strong as you. Yeah. Well, why can't I be you this season?
Yeah. People raving about Morgan again this week, weren't they? And being watched by Gareth Southgate. It's clearly a big part of the England thoughts for the future.
Yeah, well, he's come through that system, hasn't he? So he's in the 21s. He was playing in the under-17 World Cup, wasn't it? So there is sometimes that natural pathway, and but we know he's a good player. You can't ignore that kind of talent. I'm surprised that Wolves let him go, if I'm honest. I thought that he'd have gone back to Wolves and they'd have made a place for him. But I think sometimes what happens is when you're a club and you develop a player like that, it's almost like prophet is never revered in his hometown. He's got to go out and he's got to find his way, which. They've made good money on him, but it's been a good investment for Forest.
Let's concentrate a bit more on Norwich City, because the time not too far away from 2:45 now. So action underway before too long. And this is the Norwich form of late. This is their last 5, 2 points from 9, which ain't great form when they're looking for a playoff place. And interestingly, winless in their last 6 league matches against United.
Yeah, as I said earlier, that they have to at some stage make a real push now, and then push on to get in. If they're going to get in the playoffs, which would have been the minimum requirement, I would imagine, at the start of the season, they're going to have to start winning some games, and they're going to have to do it quick, and they're going to have to do it today. As I said earlier, they're not brilliant at home. I don't know why that is. They're better away from home, but maybe there's a bit of pressure at home. I don't know. They're going to work hard. They're going to chase us. They've got some half-decent players. They've got 1 or 2 good quality players, but I don't think they're anything special, as their league position kind of reiterates.
Well, let's take a look at the Norwich lineup. When they last played, they had a 4-4-1-1 lineup there. But they've had various permutations.
Well, Josh Sargent is the main striker. He's a USA international. He's a decent player. He's scored some goals this year. Puk is the one we all know about. He's been one of their main goal scorers over the last couple of seasons. And of course, he caused us problems down here. And he's a little terrier. He will just chase about. I don't think he's like a creative number 10 or anything. I think he's more of a bustling centre forward.
You look how important he is. He's got 7 assists as well as 10 goals.
Yeah, he's a key player for them. Yeah. The other one to watch out for, Gabriel Sarah, however you pronounce it. £6 million he cost from Sao Paulo, I think, in Brazil.
I've heard some good things about him.
Yeah, he's their main creative central midfield creator.
Well, let's just underline that and take a look at those players to watch in the team. Max Aarons there, the right back, carries the ball out, attacking fullback. There's your man with the Greek name there, Brian. Yeah. Dimitris, the left back, international teammate of George Baldock.
What's his second name? Can you spell it?
Giannoulis, I think.
Okay.
You've been practicing that, John,
something like that.
Okay.
Kevin will be all over that one when it comes to commentary. And then the guys who've got the goals, Sarah, who's got 10, Sargent, who's got 11, and Pookie also with 10.
It's funny, I actually know the guys. One of my ex-teammates, when I was at Benfica, knows that boy Sarah, and they were telling me about him because they have a lot of connections in South America. I said he's a very, very good player, you know, and you know, it represents a very good investment for them in terms of where he can go, you know.
Well, somebody's going to have to keep a watch on him then.
Well, he'll be in the Doyle territory, won't he? If Doyle's our central midfielder, you know, he'll be in contact with him. That it goes back to what I said a little bit earlier about Sanderberg. Will have to come in a little bit and just give a little bit of a solidity in there with Doyle. So I think it might be a case this afternoon, rather than just have a one deep-lying midfielder. I think it'll be Doyle and Sander in there. Yeah. With McAtee, we'll have the licence to roam and do whatever he needs to do going forward.
We'll hear the manager's thoughts about the match in just a minute or two. Paul Heckingbottom running the rule over Norwich City. But Max Lowe as well was keen to impress that the team view today, with this one coming up, was just another game.
We try and see it as it's just another game. We don't see it any different to ones we previously had. But from the outside, I can understand why it's like that, because it is crunch time and things are tightening up and there's less games to play. But we try and simplify it and don't change the way we're preparing for any game. And although we know as the games do tick off, it's going to get more intense coming to that last hurdle.
And even I can remember Paul Heckingbottom saying when you were 13 points clear, even building on that would have been extraordinary. So the fact that it's constricted a little bit is hardly a massive surprise.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's no secret Middlesbrough they've been on a great run. We had our blip, and we feel like we've overcome that, and we've got to prove it again. Like you said, we've had the rest, and now we've got to go again. It's about keeping this next run going.
I know you went into the break obviously in good form, the victory at Sunderland, the cup win, etc. But has anything been done by way of almost addressing that blip, so that when you do start again on Saturday at Norwich, all of any of those issues are kind of put to one side?
Yeah, I think the gaffer's very good at putting things to bed fairly quickly, and we don't point the finger. You know, if we've conceded a goal from a mistake, it's a good change room, and lads just put their hands up. You've probably seen it on the pitch. If someone makes a mistake, it's pretty obvious that we just try and move on from it, because we're all honest lads and we just want to get promoted. That's the end goal, and we all know we're trying our best to do that.
Norwich City as a challenge, as an opponent, what do you make of them right now?
Like every game in the Champ, it's going to be tough. Away from home, I'm sure our fans will back us as they always do, but our mentality is going in there to get the 3 points and come away in a good position.
Games, and we've had the odd reverse, but I think we're due a draw, so I'm going to go for a scoring draw.
Is there a danger that they maybe go into it wanting to protect too much instead of just relying on the ability there to go out and take them, and beat them?
No, I'm speaking as a fan, just sat here, you know, and you've asked me my prediction. I just think it'll be draw. No professional footballer goes out to say, "Oh, we'll just try and keep it steady for a draw today." You go out with the intent to win. You know, you're not going. Maybe halfway through the game, 3/4 through the game, you know, we'll be just going, you know, steady on now, you know, maybe make a couple of substitutions, let's kind of protect what we got. But that's after the game's unfolded a while. You don't start the game like that.
You agree with that one, Brian? Yeah, you can't. I mean, I tell you now, you go out there thinking, oh, we'll play for a draw, you're going to lose. You know, it's like that. You've got to it's what professional is being about. It's about saying, right, we start like this. If there's any negative indication from the manager, it really does have an impact on the team. So, you know, he's got to give the right messages. And they've always got to go with it. You can build a plan into it, but you know, like to say, well, the fail-safe is this, but you always have to project the positive. Well, you're going to be making your way across to your commentary chair in a moment. You said you don't think they're going to lose. What's the score going to be?
I said I think it'll be a scoring draw, so I'll go for 1-1.
1-1? Yeah. Right, we will see. Let's hope you're wrong. And let's hope Sheffield United win it. And we'll hear from you, of course, at half-time after what we hope is going to be 45 minutes of excellent football for Sheffield United. Well, we've heard Max Lowe and his thoughts about the match coming up. Of course, as ever, facing the press in the run-up for this with the cameras in front of him, was the manager, Paul Heckingbottom.
Dangerous team. They'll not be pleased with the last couple of results. But they're at home again, so wounded animal and all that type of thing. That's why I think they're a dangerous team anyway, but in particular, I'm expecting us to be facing a really determined Norwich side. Because they're back in it now, aren't they? They've sort of wavered in mid-table, but they are very much in the playoff picture at the minute.
Yeah, this stage of the season, say it all the time, there'll not be one game we play in the league that's an easy game, because everyone's going to be fighting for points. Top, bottom, there'll be strange results. So, yeah, you have to prepare for playing the best version of that team, should I say. But Norwich and the squad and the players, they're dangerous. They've got some good players, dangerous side.
The international break, it's done and dusted out the way, and then for the final 9-10 matches of a season, there almost seems to be a raise in intensity and an excitement. From within side, does it feel that way?
Yeah, I spoke about that actually with the players today. It's why you're here, and you've got to enjoy that, all the feelings that come with it. I say it to you guys, I say it to the owner, the board, the fans. You've got to enjoy it. You can't get wrapped up and be scared of these games because you go goal down or you're worried about results. You're not sleeping in it. This is why we're here. We'd all take this over being mid-table or bottom of the league. We're playing for a promotion. We're playing in an FA Cup semi-final in a few weeks. This is what it's all about, and it does raise everything in terms of expectation, standards, how hard we have to work. But let's go and test ourselves. Let's go and enjoy it and attack every game.
Yeah, Hecky there, so kind of underlining what you were saying a little bit earlier on, Brian. You know, it's already an excellent season, but they've still got it in their hands to make it a season that nobody's ever going to forget.
No, I mean, you think about it, you know, Cup semi-final against Manchester City, nothing to lose. You know, there has been a real consistency about this season, the way other teams played. You know, the way how he's moved the squad around has been really good. You know, people have come in and they've slotted in effortlessly. You know, the performances on the whole have been pretty consistent from sort of like from goalkeeper to centre forward. So there's a lot to be positive about, but we all know that without coming to the end of the season, if you know a positive result in a year's time is the fact that we got promoted.
Yeah, that's the big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely key. And if they can come away from this, well, at very least with something, but if they could come away with a win, I mean, that'd be massive.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing against a team here who've got some very good attacking options. Not very good at home, like we say. But yeah, it sends a message out again. You know, Norwich, they're still drifting around the end of the playoffs, sort of like in that like 7th place. So they've got ambitions as well. You know, and they're not going to want to get beaten today. So I think it's going to be a really intriguing game.
Well, I sort of nailed Kevin down and got him to say what he thought, and he's gone for a scoring draw in the end. What do you reckon, Brian?
I'm probably going to have to agree with him. I'd love to say that we're going to win, but I'm erring on a little bit of the side of caution, knowing that we've got the ability within the team to actually win the game. I think that if our big players turn up today, I fancy us. You know, if Sanderberg puts in that performance that we've been talking about and alluding to here, and Jai, you know, if he gets that space and starts to create those, and if we, you know, like McBurney at times this season, you know, he's really been the main man. So I think that we have players who are match winners on the day. You know, we just need them to we need a performance from all of those, and if that happens, I really feel we can get 3 points. But I'm going to say, you know, we don't get beat.
I know in the boxing world, Brian, when people say, you know, sort of how's a rematch going to be, I always say, well, you know, let's look at the first fight, and you've already seen the fight, and what is there to suggest that it's going to be any different? And when we saw the first match at the Lane, I mean, terrific game, wound up being 2-2 to an extent. Have we already seen it, so we can expect more of the same?
Different manager, So that's going to be that's going to play into it. We don't know what their mentality is like. Certainly, I pointed out that the lad, I forgot what his name is. No, the Greek.
No, you're a Greek guy. Giannoulis. Dimitris Giannoulis.
Dimitris Giannoulis. I pointed out that he was the catalyst for us, really, in terms of coming back into the game. I think that might change, and so it just depends on the mentality now. You know, I know Andrew Hughes is down there, who's somebody I know. You know, that mentality. So we'll see.
Well, let's hope it's going to be a win. As you can see, the players have come out now, and it's less than 3 minutes away from kick-off. Let's get across to Carrow Road and hear commentary on the match from our team of Matt Young and Kevin Gage.